I think it would be remiss to blame gentrification on those two dynamics, right? This isn't, what's going on with inner city neighborhoods and inner city commercial areas isn't Walmart came in and everything was closed down. It is years and years of policy, process, and practices that have never allowed anything to be built in the first place. The reason that gentrification is coming to a highlight is because it's ugly, and it looks ugly in Grand Rapids' eyes. So when you're 50 out of 51 for African Americans, we don't like that. Grand Rapids is a place we like to hide our problems well. We pride ourselves with being bad, but not as bad as the east side of the state, right? So now all of a sudden, we live in this instant data world where you can't hide behind this type of stuff, and we just discuss it more. But the same thing that's going on Wealthy Street has been the decrease of minority-owned businesses has been going on for 20, 30 years. I think if anything, my white brothers and sisters may have a stronger argument as to the effect of Walmart moving in and closing down mom and pop stores. This is actually the social construct that came out of the 13th Amendment that basically uses laws and practice and policies and criminalization as social order factors, and banking and redlining and mortgage products as ways to stagnate certain populations. So I think we have to.
I think that we haven't seen rates like this before. I think there is an unspoken problem too with vacant houses that are still just standing there vacant, and you might look at that and think, oh, how can there be such a crunch when you've got, this house on this block is vacant? But it's because banks are holding on to these. They're not moving them. They're not listing them. They're not investing in them. They don't intend to, they just want to sit on it because it's cheaper to sit on it. And I was talking to Dave about this. Yes, sure.
So the city of Grand Rapids has identified, it's a loose number, we've identified about 800 homes right now that are vacant, single family homes that are vacant with nobody living in them, sometimes for years. I know there's one on my block that was empty since 2012, and it just now got sold 5 years later. And so people ask the question why. Well, and I know I'm government, but I'm going to bash government. So the mortgage loan crisis, there was no oversight, which is one of the great causes of the crash. So the government typically does, it swings the pendulum way too far the other way, way too many. So what we have is bit larger.
This is like rocket science. This is like the momentum and pace in the cycle of real estate and development. So it's our municipality's job to be in front of this, right? You invest in tipping point neighborhoods before they tip. You can't retrofit in affordability. We all know, if you look historically at any real estate market, it's hot 1 century or 1 decade, and it kind of moves and so forth. We know that the displacement now is going to go to the outer ring suburbs, which are now Wyoming and Kenwood. These are things, people, we can predict. The reason that this phenomenon happens, it isn't this perfect, with all due respect, it's not this perfect combination of all this stuff. It's a perfect combination of not giving a damn about marginalized people who it affects. Right? And that's really what happened. But finally, the only reason, and be clear, because I've been in affordable housing for a long time, I've owned a lot of properties for a long time, the only reason we're talking about affordable housing in Grand Rapids is it has turned into a housing affordability issue for people who aren't.
And for developers, I think as a developer approaches a neighborhood, I think they need to realize that if they're developing in a neighborhood, neighbors, especially those that feel that they're not being heard, the first thing they're going to do is fight and oppose, because that's the only power they have. So they're not going to want to come join you because then they've already given that power up. So it's a, how do you get involved? Call your commissioner. We're trying to make the website more friendly. Know what's coming on. The Planning Commission publishes everything that's important would have to come before Planning Commission. So take a look at that. Put it on your calendar. Check it. See what's coming before Planning Commission. Some that might have missed you and you want to speak to that issue. That's kind of how I see it. What I, as a city commissioner, am trying to do is when there's a